My guest Valerie called off her destination wedding with 50 guests because she felt so lost, scared, and alone with the challenges in her relationship. But a book made her change her mind. And today she has a marriage that's light, playful, and loving. And she knows how to keep it that way, even with a blended family, two ex-wives, and an autistic child. She's going to tell us how she did it so you can do it too. Valerie, welcome to the Empowered Wife podcast. I'm so excited to hear your story.
Thank you, Laura, for having me. And I'm excited to share my story to help anyone out there that can relate.
Well, take us back to what was going wrong in the bad old days.
Yeah, we kind of jumped into our relationship super fast. I think the speed of the relationship, the baggage that we both had on his end, he had two ex-wives, 3 kids, 1 nonverbal autistic. And here I am as a single woman. I'm 42 years old, never been married. And, I'm ready to get married and have kids and start a family. So I didn't realize how much that was to take on. I thought, oh, okay, we're just dating, we're having fun. We became official about a little over a month. And then I ended up literally never leaving his house. So I ended up just kind of moving my stuff over like 4 months in. I think I left like one night. So it became pretty intense fast. And, on the outside, we looked awesome. Everyone thought, we were in a fairy tale land. But on the inside, we had a lot of communication issues. Like we got along really well when we did things together. But when it came to being emotionally safe for each other, that wasn't there. And I never had the skills. I didn't know how to communicate. I knew that too, because I knew that I didn't come from a family who communicated. But at the same time, I was like, I didn't really understand what was going on when we would get into fights. And he would tell me like, hey, like, I don't feel like I'm being heard or understood. And I'm just like, whatever. Like, what are you talking about? So I was very dismissive. And he would just say like, you're in your bubble. I'm like, I know, it's great. Like, so I'm over here in my bubble and he's kind of like, I would love for you to listen to me. And I just realized I never listened to him, and I would only see the reaction of him. So when I saw his reaction, then it created this conflict constantly. So we were always butting heads when it came to emotional safety and communicating.
You're like, why is he so angry all of a sudden? Or like, what just happened there? And he felt like so in retrospect, he was trying to say, he was trying to have a conversation, and you were kind of like, no, we're not having that conversation, or kind of skipping over it. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Like I remember we were in Tahoe for my birthday, and you didn't realize this. I guess I would just wake up cranky. Like I didn't realize and I didn't really, like before when I was independent, of course it's easy being by yourself. But when you're in a relationship, that mirror comes in like full force. And I kind of like didn't receive well at all. He had all these gifts for me, and I guess I didn't really receive it in the way that he wanted me to. And it kind of came across as being, kind of bratty and he was just like, what? Like, I want the sweet, where's the sweet feminine woman? And so I wasn't showing up that way. And it was my birthday, and he kept saying, well, I want to talk about like how I'm feeling. And I'm just like, it's my birthday. Why are you bringing this up? So it's always just this dismissal that I didn't realize was building up for him. And actually after that, he tried breaking up with me, and I was like, what? Like, where's this coming from? So anyway, that was kind of a turning moment in our relationship in the beginning. And then we started seeing therapists too. And, in the therapy wasn't really working, but he did say something like, I know my role in this relationship. Do you? And I'm just like, what are you talking about? So I had my own business, and he wanted the traditional role. Like, he wanted me to stay home, take the kids to school, cook dinners, and he would work and take care of us. And I wasn't used to that. I've supported myself since college. So it was a new world for me. And then just kind of dealing with, all the things that come with it. And we were living at a 3-bedroom house, which felt small to me. And then we decided that we wanted to have a kid. And, we're not engaged. We're just boyfriend and girlfriend. But at this time, I'm like, okay, I'm 42. Actually, I think I turned 43. And didn't know if I could get pregnant, but ended up getting pregnant and had my son at 44. So, and we bought a house. And we moved into our house 10 days before he was born, and I had him at home. So within, a couple of years, moved in, tried to break up with me. I was like, no, that's not happening. I told him, no.
I love that part. Like, you're trying to break up with me? No, that's, no.
No one does that, no. So yeah, I didn't realize how controlling I was. So as, I got further into these skills, I was like, whoa, like, I am controlling. I don't like to admit that, but I'm very controlling.
Me neither. It's like an awful thing to realize. So, okay, so you've got your son, and you guys are not married yet.
No, we were married.
Oh, you were married. Oh, you're already married. Okay, gotcha. All right, a lot. Oh, because we skipped the part. I want to hear about the part where, when he tried to break up with you. Is that when you called off the wedding?
No, that was in the beginning of our relationship.
Oh, okay.
Like 4 months into our relationship. So already he was trying to be like, hey, this is how you're showing up for me. And I was like, no, I'm like a girl fun of light. What are you talking? Like, so yeah, that I said that because it kind of, in our relationship, it started pretty early on, but we've stuck through the challenges, and, we both honestly have chosen our faith. Because if we didn't choose our faith, and he kept telling me, he's like, you know what, I'm choosing my faith. I believe I can see you in the future. I believe you're going to get there.
Oh, yeah. Sweet. And so, what happened? What was the breakdown that had you decide to cancel your destination wedding?
Yeah, I think, the pressure of, so we got engaged in August, and he wanted a certain date. So I played basketball, he played basketball. My number was 24, his was 42. So we mirror each other in our numbers. Like, there's so many similarities that we have, even with our family or places we've been at the same time that we didn't know about. So it's kind of like this weird destiny of timing. And he's like, no, I want 4-2-2-4. And so I was like, well, that's 6 months. That's pretty fast. So I was like, okay, let's do it. But I just felt like there's a lot of stress building up. He then started not working as much. So financially there was pressure there. He ended up quitting his job right before the wedding. I'm like, how are we going to pay for this wedding? So that was another stressor. And then my attitude, or me kind of showing up as his mother, or what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Questioning everything that he was doing didn't help either. So that kind of, just started all this friction. So I felt like a lot of events that were happening, things in our home, our ceiling was crashing down, and and I was blaming him for these things, why aren't you taking care of it? And and overriding him in certain areas. And so I can see now, looking back, whoa, if I would have had these skills, we would have gotten married at that time.
Oh gosh.
But it
Yeah.
was just the stress of all of it, I think. And then, I started getting other people involved. I was going to this night class and they were like, "Are you sure you want to?" And then, so like them questioning. And then I started talking to friends who didn't have what I wanted. And in your book, that stood out to me. It's like when you talk to, people who are not supportive or coming from where you want to be, their advice is probably not going to be the advice you want either. That caused more stress. So I just felt like it was just this ball of negative energy that just kept rolling down the hill and getting bigger and bigger and bigger, like the cartoons. It just weighed so heavy on me, and I didn't know what to do, and I felt all alone, and I felt like I couldn't talk to anybody about it. And the more people I talked about it, it got worse. And yeah, so I just like put pressure on myself. Like, do I want to? I just don't. I couldn't walk down the aisle feeling the way I was feeling, and I couldn't get out of this feeling. And I felt like I would be lying to myself and others. Like I just didn't have that like excitement. So I didn't feel like it would be fair to have all these people there feeling the way I was feeling and how things were going in our life.
So you called it off, and which I'm sure was also stressful and probably pretty heartbreaking. And a lot of couples can't come back from that. They don't come back from a canceled. This is like kind of a public, like, I'm not sure about this marriage. So what happened? Like, how did you get back to?
Yeah, I was worried because he took it well, but didn't take it well in the sense of he was like, "Well, maybe I think you should be with somebody else." That was kind of his reaction to it all, which I was like, that's not what I'm saying. But he just felt heartbroken and like devastated over it. So yeah, I didn't know what he was going to do in that sense. And, I don't know. I think it's just choosing that faith. It's like, well, I'm telling him I want to be here. I'm not going anywhere. Never once have I threatened that arena. So I think that helped him be like, okay, she's not going anywhere. Like this girl loves me, and she just needs to figure it out, like understand what I've been trying to tell her. So I said, you know what, let me join this program, which was not yours. It was a 90-day program. Let me join this program. And, he's so intuitive. He was like, I don't think that's the program for you, but okay. I'm like, okay. He's like,
Okay.
okay. So I didn't like in the middle of it. I was like, yeah, I'm not feeling connected to this program. And so I was like, I guess I need help. Like I need to figure this out. And then my girlfriend, reached out to my girlfriend who runs this women networking program. And I said, oh, what are you up to? I haven't talked to her in a while. And she's like, oh, actually, I'm hosting a retreat this Saturday and somebody canceled. Can you come? I was like, and it was like 30 minutes away at the beach. And I was like, oh, let me ask. And I was like shocked. He was like, yeah. And it was an overnight thing. And he watched, our son. And that's when it was just like basic, what do you want? And I'm like, I want to get married. Like, this is what I want. I know that in my heart, this is my vision. This is what I want. So I came back excited about that. But still, there's no skills, right, that comes with that. It's still kind of in the air. Like, this is universe, this is what I want. Help.
Help. Yeah.
And he got a new job, and he, on his work computer, had all these different articles that would pop up. And so one of them was Kathy Murray's article about, how this book saved her marriage. And the second he told me that, I was like, I want it. He's like, okay, I'm ordering it for you. So he ordered me all the books, the workbook, all the things that came with it. And literally the second I got them in the mail, I read Surrendered Wife first and then Empowered Wife. And less than a week, both of them, literally could not put it down. I was like, oh, okay. This is what he's been telling me this whole time. This is it. This is the program? Do they have a program? Whatever program I want, I'm in. Like, because also one of the things that you had said that stood out to me was this all in. And I think my entire life, I've always like protected myself. Just getting hurt, right? It's like we all are like, don't hurt, don't get hurt, don't get hurt. But then how are you ever going to have a relationship that's intimate and joyful if you're always protecting yourself? And I found that that's what I was doing. I was just constantly defending myself. Like that's all I did. I mean, and this is something I forgot to say. It's like we would get into hours and hours of conversation. Like I was so exhausted from talking because we were just trying to go back and forth to solve this problem. So I was like, okay, it is me. I need to, one, respect. I realized I was being so disrespectful all the time. And like, that was my mission of like, okay, I need to be respectful, let go of control. Those were my first 2 steps. And then also the self-care. I was like, oh yeah, I do self-care, but I didn't realize a lot of certain types of self-care was missing.
Yeah.
I went from having a lot of friends, socializing, doing whatever I want when I want to now. Here, I have kids. Now I have 4 kids.
Yeah.
It's like, and the kids' school, it takes in the morning like 2 hours each way. So I was exhausted just driving, cleaning the house, taking care of our set, picking up kids. I mean, we had to juggle everyone. They play basketball, they do sports. We have different times that we have to get kids. So it was a lot of just like running around, and just I felt like I was a zombie half the time. So of course I woke up cranky, but I also was like taking on like everyone's energy too. Yeah. So just being the awareness of it all has changed my life.
So, okay. Yeah, that does sound incredibly stressful. 2 hours a day, like morning and afternoon kind of thing. Like
so to take them there and back is about 2 hours, sometimes a little bit more, depending of the morning and but the traffic,
oh my gosh,
the fire, like it's.
Yeah.
I did sign up for this because we bought our house, farther away.
Yeah, but no. So of course you're stressed out, and then you find out like, oh, I'm not getting as much self-care as I need. But these are also your responsibilities, right? To drive these kids around. So how did you start taking care of yourself?
I just realized that was my lifeline. Like, I try to nap as much as I could. I would take baths. I would do a lot of that self-care. But I realized what was missing was the social self-care, because I'm at home, right, by myself. I feel like I have no friend, just I don't have friends that I'm meeting up with. His family lives around here, but they're busy too. So when I started going to the park and meeting other moms, that like lit me up. I was like, oh my, I have energy that I didn't know I could get back. But I was thinking it was like taking a bath and stuff. And all those things are really nice. Naps, great. But I still was like, why am I not energized the way that I don't know, feel ridiculously happy, right? Like I'm still not feeling that ridiculously happy. So what is it? So I started meeting girlfriends at our park, and they're all amazing. And now we're building community, and we're meeting neighbors. I just got invited. I just met this other girl at the park. She just invited me this morning to like a play date thing on Wednesday at her house. I was like, oh, okay. Like, so it's just a great community. And we also have a pickleball court in our backyard. And we have been talking about how we want to host people over for pickleball. And so we did. We went over to a neighbor's house, and then we were like, okay, we want everyone over to our house. So they came over. So it's been fun. Like, it's fun just building that community. And now that I'm a mom, right, it's building the family community. And it's just so much fun to watch our 2-year, he's almost 2.5 next month, now play with all these kids. So that's, it's so nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, you needed other women in your life. That was part of the care and feeding of Valerie, was to make sure you got that. So I love that. And then you were like a happier Valerie. You weren't waking up cranky so much as much as before. So I love that. What else did you start doing differently once you got your hands on the intimacy skills?
Yeah, I think when I realized he asked me what he should do all the time. And I never realized that before. But after learning about the skills, I'm like, oh my gosh, he's asking me what he should do for blank. Even so, I remember he was like, should I go get our son? He was crying in the car. I'm like, yeah, whatever you think. And he just had this big smile. I was like, okay. Just the response he had from that, I was like, first I was like, why are you asking? But sweet that you're asking. Yeah, just even recently he's like, okay, well, I want to join my book club again. And I also want to play basketball. And he's already has podcasts that he does, and he has a night group that he goes to. And I'm like, my first initial reaction is like, oh, that's like 4 nights. Like, you're gonna have something. Kind of like, well, what about me?
Yeah, totally. Right. Yeah. When are we going to spend time together?
Yeah. But he came back. He's like, okay. He's like, I joined book club. I'm like, you know what? I trust you. I think that's great. You know what's best for you. And he was like so excited for that. And he now uses like, I need self-care too. I'm like, you're right. You do. You need self-care. Like, I want him to be happy. It takes so much weight off of me when he makes those decisions. And I'm like, yeah, I'm letting it go. Like, and recently I told him, his cousin plays tennis, and I haven't played tennis in like 20 years. That's on one of my self-care things. Even though we play pickleball, I still love like tennis. So I've been diving deeper into self-care and what I want to get back into. And so I had texted her. I'm like, oh, what are you doing this weekend? And this was like a month ago. It's like, oh, well, can you do something during the weekday? And I was like, oh, I never thought of it like that. And it was a Wednesday night, and he has his podcast. And I was like, well, he has his podcast. I don't know. So I asked, like, oh, I'd love to play tennis with your cousin. And he's like, okay, let me get back to you. And like 5 minutes later, he's like, okay, I'm coming home. You can go play tennis.
I got the kids.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my, you would do that for me? Like, cancel your podcast? He's like, yeah, you don't ask for, like, this is the first time you've ever asked to do something, play tennis with her. And I was like, oh, so knowing that he does have these things, it's like, I know, like, if something came up, he would cover, like, he would probably make it work. And he also did it. One of my girlfriends from Arizona was here. She's like, do you want to meet up for dinner with me and a couple girls? I was like, oh, I'd love to. And my husband's like, okay, I'll go. He left work early. He went and picked up his son, came home so I could go to dinner. So I was like, okay, so like he will make it work.
He wants to be your hero.
Yeah, he does. He wants to be my hero. And so when he asks for things, I'm like, okay, you know what? If I know if I have a desire and I want to do something, he'll make it work too. So it's not, it's nice that he now was like, I want self-care too. I'm like, yeah, you should. And sometimes I never looked at it that way, like video games or on his phone, but that's his calming and self-care. So I'm like, okay, it just lets go of so many hooks that we have in people. And I realized I am finally free of caring about what other people are doing or saying, and I think that's why I was so exhausted, because I'm just trying to control all the chess pieces. And if they don't go my way, then it's like a devastating.
So this is a more chill Valerie we've got here, kind of just relaxed into your tennis and meeting up with girlfriends, like building a community.
Mm-hmm.
But I know like it can be frustrating, like when you have a little person, right? You have a really little person still, and he's playing video games or looking at his phone. It can be frustrating. Like, wait a minute, like I'm doing everything around here, but I'm not. You don't sound like that. Is that how is that?
No, I do get into those moments in my head, like, look at them. I do the dishes 24/7. They're just chilling on the couch. The plate can't even make it. I mean, the plate's left on the couch.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right.
Garbage on the floor. um, you know what has helped me, because I've realized this even more so recently after hearing one of Kathy's episodes, is the phrase "I get to." And I have this sign in our bedroom basically like saying, you know, it's like you have everything that you've prayed for. Like, I've prayed for this. I have written about this, having a family, having a home. This is what I've wanted for so many years, and I have it. So I get to do these things for my family is fulfilling for me, that I get to do that. Now, if I want help, I know how to ask for that too. But I also now am feeling like I play music, or I try to get, I do things that help me realize how grateful I am that I actually get to do the dishes for other people. And that's really, really helped me, because just leaning on gratitude every day. I mean, we love our home. It backs up to nature, and like every day I'm so grateful that to look at what we have created. And we just celebrated 4 years this last weekend. And
Congratulations.
thank you.
Oh
And I
my
was like,
God.
yeah, I was like, these are the best 4 years. And he looked at me and he's like, well, let me think about this before I could tell you that I want to be on. I'm like, okay. And then it was sweet. Like last Thursday, he was working from home, and I like came into the room, and he's like, I just want to let you know, these have been the best 4 years of my life. So I was like, oh, he like, baby.
He just set you up. So you could say something sweet, huh? I love it. Oh my gosh. Well, so what is your marriage like now?
Yeah, it's so much sweeter and lighter and happier and joyful, and it's like feels free now. He even was who is this sweet person I get to wake up to? Like, is this real? It's like, hey,
Oh.
you're just so sweet. Like, I was like, yeah, I feel a lot happier. Like I do. Like, I feel like I'm finally waking up with a clear head and refreshed. And, it does go back to my self-care, and knowing my self-care is my lifeline. And anytime I'm not feeling happy, I know to go to self-care, or not to him. Like, just in that rear view mirror, just looking back, like, wow, I would have turned this thing into a nightmare. Right? So yeah, it's fun. We laugh a lot. We're always, I mean, we've always been affectionate. Like, we've always been intimate, but it feels more connected now. Before, I feel like it was more of an obligation, or just this, there's just a lot of things in the way, I think, just energetically. And I think, we are energetically clearing that out and more aware. And I think it's just the awareness that I love of it all. Like, I can see myself. Yeah, I could just see the growth in myself and in him too. And we're, obviously we're still growing, but we just have shorter times. Like, we recognize things in the moment, or it might not take that long, to be like, okay, like, your apology. Like, I apologize a lot, and respectfully so. Like, it, cleaning my side of the street and staying on my paper has really helped for me to feel the freedom, that I was once told years ago. this girl said, Valerie, you'll feel freer in a marriage. I was like, no, I don't think so. Lie. I was like, what? You can't feel that way, you know? So I was always afraid that my freedom would leave me in a marriage. So it's very
That's why
important.
you waited until your 40s to get married, right? You're like, this, I don't want to give up my freedom. And it does sound like you're living the dream. Like I hear the playfulness in your relationship, which is a sign that there's a lot of emotional safety, right? That you do both feel safe. And I also hear the gratitude and looking around at what you've built together and feeling proud and happy and just enjoyment, like joyful. So, and does he know what you're doing? Does he know about the intimacy skills? He must, right? Because he got the
He
book.
knows about them, but I don't like educate him on it, because that's another thing. I'm a teacher at heart. I like to tell him about all the information I've learned, and I'm like learning to scale back that a little bit. But yeah, he's the one that intuitively knew this was the program. When I came to him, he goes, yes, I agree, this is the program for you. I mean, I jumped all into being a coaching training 2 weeks after I read the book. And that's just the way I'm wired. If it's in my soul will tell me if it's a heck yes, and that was a heck yes. And this literally has been the best thing of my entire life. I have been a part of so many programs, not relationship programs, but a lot of programs, to know what a good program is. And this is an amazing program. The women now, it's like the women in here are like my best. Like I could go to them anytime. The coaching in here is phenomenal. Just the way that you have run the program is out of this world. So I want to thank you for that. And I'm so impressed by how much you put into this. It's amazing.
Oh, thanks. Well, great to hear that I just hear your love. Like you're just enjoying the programs too. What do you think it's done to impact your kids? So you have the blended family, 3 of his and both of yours. Do you think there's any, or has it impacted?
Yes, I think so, because, sometimes I'd get grumpy taking them to school and stuff. But no, they are such good kids. They're so sweet. And yeah, I just listen to them. I feel like they've opened up. I mean, they've always been kind of, open, but I feel like opened up. They know they have a home. Like we have created a security for them that they haven't had, growing up. And it's really special. Like when we're all together, it's very sweet. And we love our family. It's so nice at our wedding. So at our wedding, they spoke and just started crying the whole time. So it was, it's so sweet. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
I'm so thankful to have this, especially with my 2.5-year-old, just knowing wow, how I can show up for him, and all of them, but it's just special knowing that from this age that I have that opportunity to really impact him.
Yeah. Yeah. It must feel good. Like you're giving him that home court advantage of an emotionally safe house, and you're really a beacon of hope for what's possible for a blended family too. There can be a lot of conflict. There's 2 ex-wives, right, that you have to deal with. And I don't know what that's like. I mean, I imagine that creates some challenges sometimes. But you're really painting a picture of how it can be done in a gracious way, and in a way that provides that safe bubble for your family.
Yes, just letting go of control. Let him take care of it.
Yeah, stay on your paper. Maybe go play some tennis or something. Yeah. So I love that. Well, I mean, great job with creating such a wonderful family environment. What is your tip for somebody who is kind of stuck where you were, like maybe feeling like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of things. He quit his job. I got to call off this wedding. I'm not sure. I'm on the fence, right? Like somebody who's on the fence, even
Mm-hmm.
after you were in this relationship, but I'm still feeling on the fence. And that was creating some conflict, and you're not sure how to navigate that. You weren't sure how to go all in, and now you're on the other side, just proud of what you have created, and rightly so. What's your tip for somebody who wants what you have?
Yeah, I would say, well, one, it starts with you, but I think sometimes we can't see, like, I couldn't see what was going on. But knowing that if you have these skills, right, that builds the awareness. But if I look at his reaction, that tells me something within myself. So I'm like, okay, I got to go back and reflect on, like, how did I show up? How can I be better? And I think just, who do I want to be? What is my vision? What do I want? Because it's all about my growth. And when I'm growing, and it's not about him and what he's doing, because that's where I was. I blame him for, like, his reaction, or, I would say, okay, how did I show up? Okay, probably rolled my eyes. I probably said a negative comment. Like, what did I do? Take responsibility for that, because it's like, what do I want? I want to grow. I want to be a better person. I want to be this is funny because he tells me now that I am the sexy, hold on, I wrote it down. He calls me now the super sexy, supportive, cool wife. And I'm like, whoa, okay.
The super sexy, supportive whole wife.
Cool wife, cool wife.
Oh, cool wife, cool wife.
I was like,
Oh,
I'll
okay.
take it. And so, like, he doesn't even know about the, like, SFPs, but this is his thing that he has come up with for
He
me.
has no knowledge of spouse fulfilling prophecy, but yet he has a great spouse fulfilling prophet. Well, and it's really just a compliment. It's what he sees in you. I mean, what an awesome thing for him to. That must feel really good to
Yeah.
have him call you that.
And I think just the mirror effect has really helped me. Like, okay, what energy am I bringing? Do I have an attitude? Am I cranky? Like, did I do self-care today? Just constantly reflecting on myself. And then also, my thoughts are huge. So when I changed my thoughts about him too, of trusting him and his decisions, and one that my coach helped me with is, he stands for my greatness. Standing for my greatness. And I have so much evidence of that. So when I changed my focus, right, it's that changing the focus of what you can be grateful for. What, you said, why did you marry him? Write down all the list of amazing things about him, and how is he supporting you? Oh my God, he canceled his podcast. He took off work early. He's calling me super sexy cool wife. He's showing up for me. He put me, he said yes to this program. It's a year program. I mean, he is, like, all about it, right? He is standing for my growth and greatness, and he has a great heart, and he's very intuitive, and he has a vision that he sees us stepping into. So I love that about him too, which is what attracted me to him, is him, just that belief and personal growth. I want a man who wants to grow, and he's all about that. So to me, that's super attractive.
It's very attractive. Agreed. And you just sound like you love to learn. You love to learn and grow. And he's like totally cheering you on. So what a great, yeah, what a great relationship. And it's almost like the relationship was your next chapter of learning. Cause I hear you talking about, like, he was my mirror. When I woke up alone, cranky, I didn't even notice. But when I woke up with him cranky, I could see myself in the mirror in a new way that made me want to become my best self, which I admire very much. So I love that. So, what would you say to Valerie if you could go back in time and tell her what you know now?
I would tell her, one, she is amazing, because the self-critic comes in, that she has everything she needs within her. She just needed a couple of tools to really change her focus. It's like she had everything to be successful in a relationship. Just she didn't know what she didn't know. And that's okay. It's like giving your inner child grace and love, and just really, and it's not all about being positive. It's all about like acknowledging, okay, I am feeling sad, or I am feeling angry, and that's okay. But here, what I love about all of this is just, I've been searching for these tools for my entire life. And it's like she finally found them. All that hard work has paid off.
Well, that gives me chills to just hear your beautiful compassion for yourself of not knowing what you didn't know, and that, and having those feelings, like being able to honor your feelings, let them have their day in the sun, and that you, like this was just a big, tall glass of water in the desert for you to get the tools that you needed. You had everything within. You just needed, some tools that have allowed you to really create this fantastic marriage and family. In fact, I want to congratulate you on that. This is my Best Wife Award, Valerie. Congratulations. You've earned it by creating this beautiful marriage and family, and just having the courage and I can't help but notice all the joy that you bring to this process. And it's just inspiring. So thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you, Laura.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us, for inspiring other women who are having similar challenges and want to know, like, will this work for me? Is this possible? And you're just a great beacon of hope.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. It's been great. For more of the proven secrets on how to make your marriage playful and passionate without his conscious effort, check this out.